Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. Let me begin with a simple truth. What you get in life will make you a living, but what you become will make you a fortune. I learned that lesson early on. When I was 25, I met a man who changed my life. Mr. Shof, he said to me, "Jim, you don't need to change what's outside. You need to change what's inside." At first, I didn't understand. I said, "But Mr. Shof, if I had more money, I'd be happier." He said, "No, Jim. If you became more valuable, you'd earn more money." He was right. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned in life is this. It's not what you get that matters most, it's what you become. You can gather houses, cars, titles, awards, and applause, and that's all fine. Nothing wrong with nice things, but when the applause fades, the trophies collect dust, and the novelty of success wears off, the only thing that remains is you. Who you've become in the process, and that, my friend, is far more valuable than anything you could ever hold in your hands. You see, the world often tries to convince us that the real prize in life is accumulation, accumulating wealth, status, or recognition. But the real prize is transformation. It's who you must become to earn and sustain those things. The discipline you build, the patience you develop, the skills you sharpen. That is where the real value lies. When I was a young man, I used to focus on chasing money. I'd ask myself, how can I make more? How can I get ahead? But when I met my mentor, he flipped that thinking upside down. He said, "Jim, don't chase money. Chase becoming more valuable. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Because if you become more, you'll attract more." That advice changed the entire direction of my life. And here's what I discovered. If you give someone $1 million without first helping them grow into $1 million mindset, they'll lose it. Why? Because their level of growth hasn't caught up to their level of reward. The external outpaced the internal. But if you become the kind of person who's disciplined enough to earn $1 million, you won't just keep it. You'll grow it, you'll multiply it, and you'll be able to do it again. So don't focus so much on the goal that you forget the journey. Don't be so fixated on the destination that you overlook the development. The man or woman you become along the way is the real reward. The habits you form, the fears you overcome, the humility you gain, the wisdom you collect. That's what lasts. That's what builds character. Let me give you an example. Say you set a goal to run a marathon. You train for months, early mornings, sore legs, clean eating, sacrifice, and eventually you cross the finish line. Now sure, the medal you get at the end is nice, but the real reward, the stronger body, the mental grit, the confidence that says, if I can do this, what else can I do? That's the reward that changes your life. That's what no one can take from you. It's the same in every area of life. Want to be a great leader? Become someone who listens, who serves, who inspires. Want to be successful in business? Become a student of people, of value creation, of discipline. Want to have a rich life? Then invest in becoming someone who lives with integrity, gives generously, and walks with purpose. Your growth, your inner transformation, is the soil from which all your outer success grows. And the best part is, no one can grow for you. No one can do your push-ups. No one can read the books for you. But the beauty of that is, when you do the work, the results are fully yours. You own the change, so I encourage you, don't just pursue goals. Pursue growth. Don't just gather things. Gather strength, insight, and character. Because long after the things fade, you will remain. And who you become through the effort, through the sacrifice, through the discipline, is worth more than any prize this world can offer. Most people spend their lives chasing success. They run from one opportunity to the next, one job to the next, one idea to the next, always chasing, always pursuing. They're always hoping the next thing will finally be the thing that changes everything. But let me offer you a different perspective, one that changed my life completely. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. Now, I know that sounds a little unusual at first. After all, we've been taught that if we work harder, longer, faster, we'll eventually get ahead. And while hard work is essential, absolutely, it's not enough on its own. You can work long hours at the wrong job with the wrong mindset and still end up broke, tired, and frustrated. So the question isn't, how hard are you working? The better question is, what kind of person are you becoming while you work? Think about a magnet. A magnet doesn't chase metal, it attracts it, but to do that, it has to first have the right properties. If you want success to be drawn to you, you have to become the kind of person that naturally pulls success into your life. Success responds to value. If you want more success, don't chase it, increase your value. And value comes from growth. It comes from developing your skills, sharpening your mind, improving your habits, mastering your emotions. Success is like a mirror. It reflects back to you what you've built on the inside. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I was broke, no money in the bank, creditors calling, living in an apartment I could barely afford. I thought what I needed was a better opportunity. I was convinced that if someone just gave me a break, if the right job showed up or the right person took notice, everything would change. But then I met a man who told me something I'll never forget. He said, "Jim, if you want things to change, you have to change. If you want more, you must become more." At first, I didn't like that. It sounded like work, and it was, but it was the truth. So I started reading. I started listening. I started doing things differently. I didn't wait for opportunities. I prepared myself so that when opportunity came, I was ready. And slowly, things started to shift, not because the world changed, but because I did. Here's the truth. You can't chase peace and expect to find it. You can't chase wealth and expect to keep it. You can't chase love and expect it to last. But if you become peaceful, if you become valuable, if you become loving, those things will find their way to you. Your job isn't to chase. Your job is to build yourself into someone worthy of the life you want. And here's the best part. When you focus on becoming, you don't have to force things to happen. You don't have to manipulate or beg or plead. You simply become someone that success is drawn to. If you become a person of discipline, success notices. If you become a person of integrity, opportunities show up. If you become a person of value, people seek you out. Think about the farmer. He doesn't chase the harvest. He prepares the ground. He plants the seed. He waters the soil. He waits. He trusts the process. And because he's prepared, the harvest comes in due time. That's how success works. That's how life works. Don't chase, attract. Don't beg, build. Don't wish, work. Success is looking for a home. It's looking for someone who's ready, who's prepared, who's been doing the inner work. And when it finds that person, it stays. So if you want more success in your life, stop chasing it. Start becoming someone it can't resist. That's the secret. That's the shift. And that, my friend, makes all the difference. One of the common mistakes people make is wishing life were easier. We say things like, if only I had fewer problems, or if only the road were smoother. But let me tell you what I learned, and it was a game changer. Don't wish for life to be easier. Wish to be stronger. You see, wishing for less challenge doesn't take away the challenge. Life will always bring pressure, setbacks, delays, and difficulties. That's part of the deal, and the truth is, the size of the problem isn't the issue. It's the size of you. If you're stronger, what once looked like a mountain becomes a molehill. If you're wiser, what once confused you now becomes an opportunity. So don't hope that the storm passes. Develop the skill to sail through it. I remember when I was just starting out in life, I wanted everything to fall into place without resistance. I wanted the job without rejection, the business without setbacks, the the dream without struggle. But every time I tried to shortcut the process, I found myself back at the beginning, frustrated and empty-handed. Then a mentor said something that changed everything. He said, "Jim, you can't control the wind, but you can control the set of your sail." That means you may not control your circumstances, but you can control your response. You can grow, you can adapt, you can learn, you can rise. Let me be very clear. The purpose of adversity is not to defeat you. The purpose is to develop you. And once you understand that, you stop seeing problems as punishment and start seeing them as preparation. Every time you face resistance, you're building emotional muscle. Every time you push through discouragement, you're developing grit. Every time you endure disappointment, you're strengthening your character. That's why growth is more important than comfort. That's why toughness matters more than convenience. Because what's easy rarely leads to what's meaningful, and what's meaningful will rarely ever be easy. Take the gym, for example. If you lift weights that are light and easy, there's no change. But when you pick up the heavy ones, when your muscles shake and burn, that's when transformation happens. Life works the same way. The weight of your problems can either crush you or carve you. It all depends on your mindset. So if you're going through a hard season, don't run from it. Lean into it. Learn from it. Grow through it. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? What strength is being built in me right now that I'll need later? You might not see it now, but the version of you on the other side of the trial will be wiser, sharper, more grounded. And once you've grown through one storm, you'll walk into the next with a quiet confidence, knowing you're stronger than anything that comes your way. One of the great tragedies in life is that people give up not because they're weak, but because they were never taught to get stronger. They were taught to escape instead of endure, to avoid instead of adapt. But if you take life's challenges as a signal to rise, not retreat, you'll find a kind of power most people never discover. So no, don't wish for easy. Don't wish for fewer problems. Don't wish for a life with no resistance. That's not where greatness lives. That's not where wisdom lives. That's not where your best self is built. Wish to become a person who is bold, not brittle. Strong, not soft. Resilient, not reactive. Everybody wants something. We want wealth, success, love, influence, freedom. And there's nothing wrong with wanting those things. The problem is when we believe we deserve them simply because we want them. Life doesn't work like that. Life doesn't respond to want. Life responds to deserve, and here's the truth. You don't get what you want, you get what you earn by who you become. Now, I know that might sound tough. It might even sound unfair, but that's what makes life fair, because it gives to each of us not based on wishes or hopes, but based on our development, our discipline, and our decisions. That puts the power back in your hands. Think about it this way. If someone handed you your biggest dream tomorrow, maybe $1 million, maybe a thriving business, maybe the relationship of your dreams, would you be ready for it? Not emotionally, not mentally, not in your habits, not in your mindset, but really ready. You see, the worst thing in life isn't not getting what you want. It's getting what you want and not being prepared to handle it. That's how people lose it all. That's how they fall apart. The money shows up, but the maturity isn't there. The opportunity comes, but the discipline hasn't been developed. The platform appears, but the character hasn't been built to support it. So life, with all its wisdom, holds back the very things you're asking for. Not to punish you, but to prepare you. Life is not denying you. It's developing you. You have to become the kind of person who is equal to what you desire. You want a great marriage. Become someone who knows how to communicate, how to forgive, how to listen. You want to be a leader, then you better be someone who's dependable, who leads by example, who doesn't cut corners when no one's watching. Every level of life demands a new version of you, And if you don't level up mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you'll get stuck. Not because the door is locked, but because you don't have the key yet. And the key is growth. The key is becoming. This is why shortcuts don't work. If you skip the process, you skip the preparation. And if you skip the preparation, you sabotage the reward. That's why you can't cheat the grind. That's why you can't fake personal growth. You can fake confidence. You can fake success for a while, but you can't fake character. And at the end of the day, it's your character that determines whether you rise or fall. Let me put it another way. If you want to live in a penthouse, you need a strong foundation, not just physically, but in life. And foundations are built in silence, in struggle, in private moments of discipline when no one's watching. That's where the earning happens. That's where you become the kind of person who can hold the weight of what you want. So don't focus so much on getting the reward. Focus on becoming worthy of it. That's the real secret. Because once you become, you never have to beg. You never have to chase. You never have to prove. What you've become speaks for itself. Success, opportunity, influence. They are drawn to the person who is ready. So the next time you set a goal, ask yourself, what kind of person must I become to deserve this? Not just financially, but in attitude, in commitment, in skill, in maturity. When you make the shift from wanting to earning, from wishing to working, from dreaming to developing, everything changes. And then, when the reward finally arrives, it fits you. It's not overwhelming, it's natural, because you've become the person it belongs to. Remember, life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you've earned by what you've become. So, my friend, here's the bottom line. Don't just chase success. Become the kind of person success is looking for. Don't wish for things to get easier. Decide to get better. Don't hope to get lucky. Work to become ready, because in the end, it's not about what you get. It's about what you become. Let the goals inspire you. Let the vision excite you, but let the growth define you, because what's truly valuable isn't the money, the applause, or the achievements. It's the discipline you build, the wisdom you earn, the strength you forge. And when you finally arrive, when the rewards show up, they'll mean more, not because of what they are, but because of who you've become in the process. So don't settle, don't shrink, don't stall. Decide today to take responsibility for your own transformation. Because your future is not something you wait for. It's something you're becoming. And when you become more, you attract more. When you grow stronger, you handle more. When you earn it, you keep it. That's the journey. That's the truth. And that, my friend, is far more valuable. Thank you.